In the previous video, we saw how to add maps to your apps and customize the zoom level and location. In this video, we'll see how we can further customize the app by adding our own annotations and indeed adding the user's annotations with a long press as well. So let's see first off how we can add our own annotations to the app. We do it by creating an annotation, which is going to be initially mk point annotation. Then we set the various options required by the annotation. So annotation.title, and then it should be Taj Mahal. I've added back in the decimal places, by the way, here, so it should now be exactly the right location. And then annotation.subtitle. But one day I'll go here. I really would love to one day. Then we set the annotation coordinates. And fortunately, we already have the coordinates here, so we can just use the coordinates variable. But if you didn't, then you could always just create a new one from a latitude and longitude. And then simply we take our map and we add the annotation. There we go. Simple as that. Let's take a look. So this should now set up an annotation of type MK or MapKit point annotation with a title of Taj Mahal, subtitle of One Day I'll Go Here, and then a coordinate equal to the center of our map. Let's take a look. And here we go. Unfortunately, my simulator isn't showing the map for this particular area, but hopefully you get the idea. We've got this pin inside the map, and if we tap on the pin, we'll get the title and subtitle. Okay. Let's now then see how we can allow the user to add an annotation to the map. And actually, this is a general purpose way of recognizing a long press in your apps. And we do that by creating a UI long press gesture recognizer. You can use a more descriptive name if you like, but I quite enjoy it, UL Progress. And this is going to be a UI long press gesture recognizer, and it recognizes it on the whole screen. And this is going to have a target of the view controller, or the screen essentially in this case. And here then we add the name of the function that we're going to call when the long press gesture is recognized. So I'll just call it long press. And for reasons that I will explain very shortly, I'm going to put a colon at the end of that. Might seem an odd thing to do, but I will show you why momentarily. Then we just have to specify the minimum time for a long press. So we specify the minimum press duration, and usually 2 seconds is standard to define a long press. And then we just add that to the map. So we add a gesture recognizer, and the gesture recognizer we're going to add is the UIL PGR. And actually it looks like I can use a let there rather than a var. And it's suggesting that I use selector here with long press, so I'll do that. So func long press. And we want this method to receive a variable. And that variable I'm going to call gesture recognizer. And this is going to have type UI gesture recognizer. And this is where that colon here becomes important, because without it, it will still run the long press method when it recognizes a long press, but it won't send any information along with it. And we need to know where the long press is so that we can add the annotation in the right place on the map. So adding the colon there makes sure that that information gets sent and we can receive it in this variable here. All right, so now it's just a matter of converting the information that we get in Gesture Recognizer to a coordinate for an annotation. And that's actually relatively easy to do. Let's see it in action. So I'm going to create a touch point, being the location that we get within the map. So that's going to be Gesture Recognizer dot location. And it's the location in the map. And I need to use self.map because we're in a closure here. Then we're going to define a new coordinate, which is going to be from the map, and we're going to convert our touch point, and we're going to convert it to coordinate from the map. So we're using the map essentially to convert the touch point, which shows us the location on the screen, to a coordinate. And it's the map that does that converting for us, because the map knows both where the gesture was, where the long press happened, and where that is in terms of the coordinate space. Then it's just a matter of creating a new annotation. MK point annotation. Setting the coordinate. That's just going to be coordinate, and then setting the title and subtitle. So we'll call it new place. Subtitle. Maybe I'll go here too. And then finally adding it to the map. And just before we run that, I do need to attend to the action here, because selectors have actually changed how they are called with Xcode 8. So we'll call it with a hash and then selector, and then we access our long press method using view controller dot long press, and it will know the variable that we're after and the colon as well. All right, let's give that a go. So here's our map. I'm going to try a long press. And there we go. I actually tried 2 there. That was my second long press. And there's our pin added on the map with a long press. Great, so that's as far as we're going to go with maps in this video. Of course, it's really with the user's location that maps get extremely powerful, and that's what we're going to cover in the next video.